Oh, MG. Where'd that go? Where'd that go? I lost my mic. I lost my mic, guys. Son of a gun. I lost my mic. Oh, thank you, hon, for giving me my watch. Oh, there it is. There we go. All right. We're back in business, guys. Now I'm going to bring my thing with me. I'm going to turn down the TV.
I acknowledge that henceforth
so you can just see me and what I'm doing. And then I'm also going to be right back so that I can see if anybody comes on here and wants to chat also. Oh. There I am. Hi, everybody. Sorry about that. I totally forgot about this, but at least I didn't wake up just now from doing all this. But and I'm still working with my cold. So anyway, there's a lot of things that have been going on recently with me and my health. So I wanted to touch base on with that first. And then, is this even working? There we go. Maybe not. Well, oh, fine. All right. That doesn't even freaking work. Isn't that wonderful? Anyhow, I'm hoping you guys can hear me. Any type of feedback would be nice. Sending into my other computer right now. Go figure, right? Go figure. The day that you're doing all of this stuff, nothing is the way as it was planned out to work. But never fear, I'm here. But yeah, as of late, it was not this past Friday, but the Friday before that, I actually went to see a urologist because I had gotten a number of UTIs, post surgery. And for those that don't know, I had bottom surgery. And those that don't know what bottom surgery is, that's where they invert your penis to making it a vagina. That couldn't have been planned any better than that. It couldn't have been planned any better. Seriously, yes. So Come on, where are your videos? Live. Okay. All right. There we go. That's what I want. So anyway, apparently it turns out that I have bladder retention. And what that means is that kind of like when you retain water, right? But it's all in your bladder. So the normal for what after I spoke with the doctor, they had told me about 4 to 5, roughly around 400 to 500 mils, right? And I'm Googling it online that night because I have a bout of depression after all of that. And well, yeah, I did. Why? Because I I couldn't handle it. It's like, crying a little bit. It's like my world is gone astray, But if that's the worst, yeah. So anyhow, and I Googled it, where women tend to have a bladder that can hold 500 cc's, and men or males can have up to 700 cc's in a bladder. And considering I'm biologically male, and I will continue to be biologically male for the rest of my life until I was born biologically male. So, anyway, so, and when they tested me out the first time, I was retaining over 900 cc's of my bladder. And so I was able to pee again, and I tested myself at 200 mils, and then they're like, no, we still need to get 700 some off of you. Kind of reminds me of going. My mother went to dialysis because her kidneys weren't functioning like they should be, removing those toxins and that water from your body. So that's why I usually go to dialysis, to remove all that. Anyhow, long story short, they ended up putting up a Foley catheter in me because it's a lot less rigmarole for me to do that than me putting up a size 14 catheter up inside me and do it 2, 3, 4 times a day, depending on how much you're drinking. And it's like, yeah. But you know what? As I mentioned to the a few people, I said, if this is the worst out of everything that could have happened out of the surgery, I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it. And yeah, it's crazy. But anyhow, I wanted to let you guys know about that. So after that, in June, I will be uh seeing them in Wausau here for a cystoscopy. Cystoscopy. I feel like I'm my mother. I can't pronounce the word. Cystoscopy. So basically they're gonna go inside of my urethra, which is shortened heavily since the surgery. And they're gonna make sure there's any, if there's any type of um anything anything unordinary, even what do you call it? I want to call them stretch marks, but they're not stretch marks. They're uh uh a scar tissue. That's what I was looking for. That's the word. And then after that, in August, I'll also be going for a urodynamic, which happens to be going inside my urethra and checking out my bladder. The walls of my bladder and all that stuff to see why I'm having the retention I'm having. And so what that means after that is seeing what I'll be doing. And then the the what is it? The end of May, I'll be seeing my surgeon, and she's going to be checking me out too to see, what needs to be done in regards to, why I'm having the retention that I'm having. I didn't have this before. No, I didn't have bladder retention before. And on occasion, I actually had to pee a lot more. But of course, when I drink more water, I don't have my water bottle in here right now. But when I had to drink more water, I usually had to pee more, And it's fine. But that's what I wanted to let you guys know about this now. And I'm sorry about yesterday because I wasn't feeling it, so I changed it. And I just thought, well, because this is how I feel right now because I'm sick yet. And I'm like, well, let's not prolong it any further. The 16th of this month was 6 months. Yay! Believe it or not. 6 months. Can you believe it? So, yes. What does this person say? My goodness. I don't want that junk on my screen. Anyhow, so there's a few things that there's a few things that I'm going to be discussing right now. And if you guys want to decide to join, whatever, or pop it in the comments section, whatever you want to do, you do you. I'll be able to see it on my display down here. The things that we're going to be going through right now are cross-dressing, the internet, because I started in the infancy of internet. I was born in 1979. So, we had a lot of things progressing. And I'm a 90s kid. I mean, I was born born a year before 1980. And I'm not an 80s kid per se, but I love the 80s. Who doesn't? But I'm a 90s kid because I grew up in the 90s. And we didn't have internet. Oh, we did not have. the closest thing that we had to technology was cable TV. What's that, right? And and cordless telephones. That was it. That was all we had. Well, what's a landline? But anyhow, your local community, transitioning in your community, getting the correct information, finding the right therapist, your legal name change, gender marker changed, HRT, surgery, life, and living full time. So all of those are going to be discussed. Hi, hi, 1979. Hi. So, uh, I'm gonna go with the internet first because the internet was it was a famous thing that was a it was a novel idea because back in that day we had, oh my god, before we had DSL or Wi-Fi or anything like that, we had something called 56K modem dial up. You can hear the computers talking to one another, right? You could hear all that stuff. And and you had to have more than one telephone line, more than one landline, as you would call it now. You had to have more than one telephone line because if you didn't, it would take up so much data, seriously, for one computer to talk to another port over here in another area of your town. And there was so many things that could go wrong, or there's so many things that can kick you off of the internet. Because seriously, there was so many people logging in at any time. You know, the internet traffic back then was just crazy. And on top of which, I mean, if you're just your average person, um, hi, hello again, 14.4 baud. I'm not sure what that means, um, but back then it was just, and getting the correct, well, I'm going along with correct information. So back then, here I was playing a male, if you will. And it was, gosh, the seriously, the infancy of the internet. And you were literally doing the dial up 56K modem, working with AOL, America Online. It was too complex to do anything other than AOL at the time. So you had $25 a month that you paid for AOL services, and then $25 a month for your phone, right? And it better be local, because God forbid if you wasn't local, you would be getting hammered on your telephone bill with um long distance charges, right? I know. I'm like, no, it's local, it's local. Not local. Not that you're local, but it's local. So you didn't have to worry about that. So total of $50 per month that you were spending. And on top of which, again, it's infancy. And then you're looking to, see, what practitioners are out there to help you, with your journey in life. I mean, it was so unknown. It really was. And it was an amazing time. It really was. Before 56K. Yeah. um but I mean, because actually got our first in, oh my God, what was that? I want to say 97, 98, 1997, 98 is when we first got stuff rolling, because we had Windows 95 for Microsoft, and then they rolled out to 98, and we had those big ass monitors. Nowhere compared to what it is now. We had those and then even at work, you had these big ass machines that they were black screens with green writing. That's what they were. So on top of which, the telephone, perfect, right? And then we we're you needed to get the right information. So here I am trying to research everything I could possibly find for research under the gun. No one needs to know about this, right? Because at least I thought I was gay. I thought I was a gay male. No, farthest from the truth. No, granted, yes, I was born male. I'm always gonna be biologically male, no matter what. Period. But point being is that that's not who I was. That's not who I am. That's not who I was born to be. Was a male. No, for farthest from the truth as it ever could be. So here I am. Um, here I am researching and finding out, what it was. I didn't know what a transsexual was. I really didn't know. I knew how I felt inside. And my friends that are gay, they're like, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. I really have no idea. I'm like, I'm attracted to men, but I'm not attracted to men like you're attracted to men. I'm attracted to men being a woman or being a girl, for instance. Like, I don't know anything about that. Like, okay, well, you're really not the right person to talk to about this then, because you're a gay male. I'm not. Not at all. And it's like, it's kind of hard to talk to somebody or discuss how you're feeling inside when they can't relate. So I'm like, who can I really talk to about this? Then I talked to um my mother. My mother talked to her doctor. Her doctor discusses it with me, and her doctor refers me to a local practitioner, a therapist in the area, which was the wrong thing to do. It was the right thing to do at the time, but the wrong thing to do going forward, long term. Because, in my opinion, the therapist that I saw was very transphobic. She may have been lesbian, but she was transphobic. And there are people that are that way. They are. Heck, you can be gay or gay, and you can be very phobic on any other type of concern or issue. So, and then it turns out one day that I met up with a person that I had worked with at McDonald's years ago, right? And I'm like, well, maybe you can help me out, because you're literally transitioning. You really are. And I hadn't made that step in my life yet to transition. And here I was every waking moment I could attest to, I was online researching whatever I could, you know, and that night changed my life because she ended up giving me information of a therapist down in Milwaukee, which happens to be um, one of the directors of Pathways Counseling Center in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And so I end up getting counseled by the therapist down there that had a master's in science um, in this. So, and back in that infancy of internet, like I was telling you about, we still were dial up. I was still on AOL. And I'm like, I'm trying to type as composed as possible to this person I've never met, and I let them know who I am, where I'm located in Wisconsin, how I got their information, everything that you really need to put in an email, so that they're like, well, you're not a psycho, are you? No, I'm just a person that needs information to get what they need, right? Okay. And then she gives me, maybe a paragraph or so later, she says, yeah, I'd be happy to help you out, but we can't do this over email. What? No. I mean, today's day, they're doing it over video chat, kind of like this, and it's amazing how technology has really progressed in over 20 years. It really is. I mean, this was 2003. It really was. Because I had legally changed my name in 2004. So when all this stuff starting to really, really materialize, then it became more of a less burdensome, if you will. So I met with her for more than a few times. But in the meantime, I was also cross-dressing, you know, um, and I had a lot of people ask me, "Are you going to transition here? Really? Why? They're going to hate you. You're going to get so much shit coming back to you." And my thought is, in my upbringing, it's like, why? I'm very stubborn. Number one, I'm very stubborn. So I'm thinking to myself, if they have a problem with me, they can come to me and tell me in my face to blank off or whatever. But I'm very, very stubborn. I'm like, no, because my first thought was, yeah, I'll go to Orange County, California, Los Angeles, California. In fact, I had a friend of mine do me a tarot reading once upon a time before he moved, and he told me that he told me I would become a doctor of, a PsyD. I would have my own practice in California. I really would meet this really good looking guy. We get married, have a family, blah blah blah, and all that junk. It's like that never materialized either. But anyhow, I'm getting off subject. So here I am. I am cross dressing for a good year, up until the time that I am uh, uh, changing my name and going on hormone therapy. So again, the reason why I chose to, um, I just want to make sure I'm hearing myself. Yep, the reason why I chose to um, stay in my local community, it's because I'm stubborn. Keep it simple, stupid. I'm stubborn. That's why. So here I am transitioning, growing out my hair, doing live show, doing it. I was an entertainer on stage. Some people would call that person a drag queen. I wasn't. I never was a drag queen. I didn't know anything about makeup. I didn't know anything about doing anything like that. So I went to Best Buy once upon a time and I got uh, Acid Pro, I think it was called back then. And it allowed me, because I was always afraid whether or not, if people are going to copy from me, if they're going to copy my music too. It's like, yeah. And that gave me a good advantage or a good vantage point of not being copied. So I went with it. And so through all of that, I was able to transition into that. My mother one day when I was coming out of the bedroom and putting on shoes that a girlfriend of mine gave me, these these nice black shoes. I had nylons on. I had really nice white, like beige white pants, if you will, and a boy's top or a young man's top on. And she would watch something on Oprah at the time, when Oprah was still on TV, right? And she says, "Are you transsexual?" Yep. I told her, "Yep, I am." It didn't click to me of what that word meant until she asked me the question. It's like, yeah, I am. And then when I had met my boyfriend at the time, that was the bottom of the barrel. It wasn't transgender, it was transsexual. You know, it really was. And we didn't have anything called non-binary at all. We had you're transsexual. You're either male to female transsexual or female to male transsexual. That was it. It non-binary did come out until much later. And it's like, well, intersex has always been there. But as far as being male to female transsexual or female to male transsexual, there's a lot more male to females than there are female to males. Say that 10 times fast. But point being is that we are still here. We still need to be heard and listened to and advocated for and allied with, you know? So, yeah, uh, again, I transitioned because I'm stubborn. I'm a little bit lazy, and I'm like, well, the community I live in, I was born in the Wausau Hospital. One of the first babies my mother always used to tell me, I'm stubborn. I want things the way it is. And you know what? Please, we live in a modern society. If you have a problem with it, tell me about it. If it doesn't do you any harm, if it doesn't hurt you or anyone you love, can I just exist because I'm me? Can I do that? Can I exist? Do I have your permission to exist? I'm not going to hurt you or your family. I'm not going to offend any of you people. I don't even know who you are. You seem to want to know everything about me, but can we coexist? That's all we ask for. A little bit of respect goes a long way, so too. Um, and the the legal name change came first before hormone replacement therapy. And that was an interesting predicament because, well, I'm not sure if it's the same as it is now, but it could very well be where I actually see. Oh yeah, I'm glad you're enjoying it. Acid Pro was really good for me back then when I was doing shows. I'm a techie myself, and I enjoyed it right now because right now I'm writing, um, and I'm going to be writing under a pen name, and my pen name is Kellie. Cass is the name of my baby girl that's sitting on the couch, laying on the couch right now, and Kellie was my first name, but it'll be my last name as a pen name or a pseudonym. And the first book that I'll be publishing, I'm still debating on whether it's going to be a series or a standalone, but it's called 6 Degrees. You know, the number 6 and degrees. So that's what I'm going to be publishing in November. I already have a publisher, and they're Hemingway Publishing or Hemingway Publishers in Illinois, and yeah, the way it's going right now with the artificial intelligence that's giving me the upper hand right now. Number one, of how I feel, and number two, it's just it's hard with the roadblock. So here I am doing all of this with artificial intelligence, and I should have I wanted my first book, whether it be in the series, excuse me, or standalone, for the first round of edits in August. But I'm thinking, if I plan accordingly, and I know myself, I do, I should have it done by the end of next month. So the end of May, it should be going to the publisher and saying, here you go. This is what I have for you. Let me know what you think. And it's a mystery horror, a little bit of thriller involved in it. Um, and it's also got time travel aspect in it. So it's science fiction. And I'm going to put a little bit of historical fiction in there as well, because what I would like is one of the leaders in science and mathematics to be all encompassing with how the time travel is meant to start and coexist with the future endeavors. So, and then there's two time eras, 1997 and 2053. So, yes, that's what I'm going to be I'm working on right now. So, I have almost 5,000 words today alone. And so that's what I was going to end up going, because I just had my lunch today. I was going to go back into the office studio and continue on with that. I'm like, oh, it's 2 o'clock. I'm like, oh, shoot, I have my live show. So here I am. But that will be ready in November. I want it to be ready for the holiday season. That's what I would like it to be. Again, the book is called 6 Degrees. Yes. So yes, back to because I was seeing my therapist for a good 2 months and driving back and forth 3.25 hours each time. Total, you're looking at 6.5 hours of driving just for one therapist appointment. 6.5 hours Mondays. So every other Monday, drive down, come back up. drive down, come back up. It took a lot out of us, and Mondays I had off because I was working third shift. And another thought is that I can't let, because I told my boss at the time, um, I told my boss at the time that I have a court date because the fact that I needed to change my legal identity or my driver's license, right? I had to change that name because it was my male name or my dead name, if you will. The kids are calling it nowadays. And I thought to myself, and also my therapist at the time, she says, well, they can't fire you for this, right? And I'm like, what do you mean they can fire me for it? And she said, yeah, they can fire you for it. And I said, I've been working for this place for 5 years. And yep, they can. There's nothing in the Constitution saying that they can hold your job for you because if you're transitioning. That's another reason why a lot of people move. Seriously, that's the reason why they move to another location or another state, or they did back then. Because they it's like, well, you have no work history under this name. It's like, yeah, but if you check this other name, I do. Who wants to know that? Because God forbid you would be outed, as a trans woman, right? Or even a trans man. No, that would be a no good. But I mean, you have no work history with who you are. So you're up against a rock and a hard place at that point in time. So anyway, here I am going with the whole idea of needing to change my name. It took 3 weeks. I had to pay for everything. I had to pay for the name change in the newspaper for 3 weeks, from changing the state from this person to this person. So everything about me had to change from my biological name, my birth name, to my chosen name. And then after that, then I sat on a seat listening to the judge, and the judge ordered the name change, and it was done. And then after that, I went to the the Social Security Administration building, I'm like, well, we can change this, but we can't change this until you actually have this done, the surgery, which was 6 months ago, as of now. Excuse me, by the way. So here I am progressing, and the next stop is the DMV. And talk about a perp walk. Right. They made me feel so ashamed of who I was. The people that I was, walking down, they're looking at me. It's like, don't look at me. I'm being shunned, right? No, that's exactly how it was. You do a perp walk because of how badly they make you feel. Anyhow, then my therapist was telling me, hey, Cal, why don't you do this? Next time you come back down here for our next session, before you come down here, go to Madison, see if they'll do it for you, and then come here, okay? Just a suggestion. I'm like, it can't hurt. So that's what I did. So the next Monday that I went down there, I went to Madison first, and then I hightailed it to Milwaukee. And guess what? It worked. That was the proudest moment of my life. Proudest moment of my life at that time. I still have that driver's license, if you believe that one. I do. And at that time, it was 4 years. Every 4 years, you had to renew your license. And now it's 8 years. And then on top of which, hi everybody. Hi everybody. I see another person joined. Say hello if you want. It was a matter of being myself, true to myself, and finally living the life that I wanted to lead, that I was meant to lead. And then I went to see my therapist for the final time, and she wrote up a letter for me saying that I was in their care and that sort. Oh, hold on a second. I'm gonna see if I can. I'll be right back. I'm gonna see if I can connect something else on here so that I won't have a problem with. Be right back. I know that. I'm back. Oh, okay. How are you guys? I'm just connecting my stuff so that this I don't lose power. There you go. Oh, and if you got scared a little bit before, this is my bag. So I'm drinking a lot more water right now because I'm dehydrated. Because I got a cold and I'm dehydrated. Whew, that's why the bag is as red as it is. Yeah. So and I was telling my friend earlier today that I says, yeah, I'm bleeding. And to be honest with you, and just not to get really gross, but I'll show you something else here. Like for instance, right here, that's urine, right? And if it was any darker than this, I mean, if it was really dark, like this, then it would be cause for concern. But it's not. It's regular urine. And the reason why I put my bag back on me is so that I can constantly drink water or drink fluids and not have to do the flipper valve and go to the bathroom, flipper valve and go to the bathroom, so on and so on and so forth, right? Exactly. And where the hell is the piece of paper I had? I don't remember. I think, oh, here it is. So here, oh, well, thank you, whoever subscribed to me. I appreciate that. I might be boring on times, but you know what? You get what you get with me. So anyhow, I at the time then I had I was able to change my gender marker on my license. This is before I got a CDL. Oh, and that's a whole another story. I can tell you guys so too. But yeah, my commercial driver's license, which I still hold. Um, but I went to Madison, got my legal name on my driver's license, and the gender marker changed. For those that are not trans or not with the transgender umbrella, or that are cisgender, for instance, and have no idea what I'm talking about, one of the major stepping stones in a person's life is that gender marker on their driver's license, whether it be X, M, or F. It point being is that's literally who they are. That's their identity. It's like, well, what does the X stand for? Well, what was it? A year ago? Was it a year ago or the year before that? President Biden, yes, President Biden. You will not get this under a Republican controlled government. But President Biden actually had the Secretary of Transportation roll this out for people that are going to be going through the surgery or thinking about doing the surgery. But point being is that they actually got so that we could get our passports with an X. So if we don't fit under the gender norm of male or female, it would be just an X. That's exactly right. And my fear, because when I turned 44, I think it was, or 43, can't remember. Anyway, when I turned a new age and my driver's license was about to expire, I'm like, fudge, what am I going to do? So in April, that's when I forget what their name is, but Transportation Secretary rolled that out in April. So by May, I had my new passport with my current name on it with an X as a gender. And I was able to pass that towards the DMV because if you didn't know, passports are good for 10 years. My driver's license, my commercial license that is good for 8 years. Excuse me again. So what do you say? I've never seen water in a bag before. Well, you did now. You did now. Anyway, so here I am going to Milwaukee after I got done with Madison, going to Milwaukee, and I got she wrote my letter up saying that I'm in their care and wrote me a referral to my doctor, so I did that. Oh, and he was such a cutie. He was a young cutie. He was sweet. He was really sweet. And it was like, Lord, please don't let him be good looking. Just let him be, whatever. But don't let him be good looking. It's like, of course, he had to be cute. He had to be like not a Poindexter type, but a nerdy type. It's like, Lord, really? I love you. And what's really funny, what's really interesting is that down in Madison, I can breathe. I can finally breathe. It's like everything is out in the open. Everything is very liberal down there. It's crazy. Uh, so, so after that, then I was put on HRT. Um, so from November, I had everything changed over, including my driver's license, changed over. And then in April, 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 like April, over in April, I believe it was April 9th, to be honest with you. Um, they were going to do, they wanted to do um, labs. So I'm like, you want me to come down there, just do labs? Okay. You do know where I live, right? Okay. So, just behave. Just behave. See, this is what I get to deal with too. Baby girl's talking back to me. See? Yeah, she's talking back to me. I love you too. Anyway, come here. Come here and sit down. You behave. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come by your mother. No? So yes. In April I started it wasn't until what was it? No, it wasn't until May. Because April I did my labs. May I started taking my hormone therapy. I was put on 200 milligrams of spironolactone, which is an anti-androgen or a testosterone blocker, if you will. On a normal male, you're having at least over at that time it was about maybe 7 to 1,000 milligrams of testosterone daily from your testes that are going up inside you and all that junk, right? And and then I was on progesterone for a year, which was 10 milligrams of where it would make my boobs grow and my everything else soften and do what it needed to do for my skin. And then also Premarin. I was on 1.25 milligrams a day, and then he adjusted it to 2.5 milligrams a day, keeping everything where it was supposed to. And I personally cut back to 1.25 milligrams per day because 2.5 was too much for me. I was nothing but a B word. I was always agitated. It was like a regular mainstream girl, always on her period. That's it. That's exactly how it was for me every single day. So I'm like, no, 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 no. I don't want to be a bee all day, every day. No, thank you. So I decided, nope, unanimously, I'm going down to 1.25 again. And it's been working for, oh my gosh, 17 years, 18 years now. Because technically, um, um, this would, next month would be technically 20 years. 20 years, believe it or not. Because I went on hormone therapy um, in May, I believe it was, of 2004. Because it was right before the summer months hit, and even before the hormone therapy, I I went full time. I went full time. I had my driver's license in check. I had my social security card in check. I had everything I needed to live as a female. So I did. So the next day, after I got done with Because I had what do you call it? A review, a yearly review. I with my boss. I told her what's going on. I had a court date. I had all this done. I needed to take care of this. It's like, are you in trouble? No, 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 no. I'm not in trouble. I'm just gonna have my legal name changed because I am I'm transsexual. I'm male to female transsexual. It's like, oh, okay. And they didn't really know how to deal with it. It's like, well, if our numbers drop, we know who why. It's like, and then I'm like, in the back of my mind, I'm putting that in the back of my mind because I'm working third shift, right? It's like, well, if your numbers drop, it's because of me. And so after every single night, I check the reports to see how much they made, how much money or how much they made every single day. And it's like, if it was a drastic drop, I'm like, shit, they're going to can my ass. But none of that occurred. None of that occurred. And I thank God for that. And then also another thing that happened was I one day I got um in from work into work, and I saw a letter addressed to me, my new my name on it. And I'm looking at this, and then it said uh, gender marker. What the hell? So I hear them calling them up and saying, yeah, yeah. I noticed that you changed your gender. Did you have your surgery? No, not yet. I want to though. Oh, okay. We'll make a note of that. Okay, done. So after everything was said and done, what was it? A few years into me having hormone replacement therapy, I mean, my sex drive went down. I wasn't wanting to masturbate all the time, like you did when you were in your 20s and even before your 20s. No, I mean, and it felt good to finally be more of a girl, if you will. It really did. It was like, thank you, Jesus. You weren't so hypersensitive to that part of your body anymore. It's like it was almost like it had gone away until you touched it, you know? So yes, through the years, it has gotten easier and easier. And then my any medical professional I've talked to before the surgery, they were always saying, "Are you gonna have your surgery? Are you gonna have your surgery?" Friends, foes, whoever coming out of the woodwork. Hey, did you have your surgery yet? Did you have your surgery? 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 What business is it of yours? Why do you care? Why do you want to know? Well, I'm just curious. And the thing about it is that even now, when, I'm out and about, no one's asking me, have you had your surgery yet? No one's asking me that question. No one. It's like, it's kind of amazing to me that no one would be asking me this question now. It's like, what would I tell them if they did? Yeah, I did. I had my surgery. Why wouldn't I want to tell them that why wouldn't I want to tell them no, I hadn't had my surgery? Because number one, I felt bad that I didn't have my surgery. Number two, I didn't feel that it was an appropriate response. Or three, I didn't feel it was appropriate for them to know whether or not something that sensitive or that personal to me to give it to them. No. But ultimately, yeah, I wanted to have my surgery when I wanted to have it. And after my mother had passed in 2019, I took a year to grieve her. Who wouldn't, right? So I took a year to grieve for her. Excuse me. I shouldn't have had such a big lunch. And after that, yeah, in 21, I told my friend, I think one February night, that I'm gonna start the steps of having my surgery. I am. It's important to me to do this. And I thought it was going to cost a lot more for me to have my surgery than it was. Um, all in all, my surgery was almost $150,000. Yes, almost $150,000. And I was thinking to myself before all this I knew, it's like, oh, I'll just put it on a credit card or I'll just get a loan for it. You're gonna get $100,000 loan. You're out of your damn mind. No, that's not gonna happen. And that's right. Sometimes a year isn't enough. Sometimes a lifetime isn't enough for some of us. So my point being is that when the right time is for you, you will know. I did a lot of prayer about it. I did a lot of meditating about it. I asked a lot of friends what they thought, the best for you was. And point being is that when it's the right time for you, you will know, you know. And I had professionals coming out of the woodwork asking me, are you thinking about having your surgery? Yeah, when I have the finances to do it. And so in February, when I was talking to my friend, I was like, I'm starting on this and double checking to see what I can do, where I can do it, and who can do it. And I was like, at first, I was thinking to myself, I would have my surgery in Thailand, where it's much cheaper. Considering the way that the world was working in 21, no. We just came off from the pandemic. No, there was no travel, literally none. The airports, the hangars, everything. It was like that was a no-go. So I'm like, well, you know what? I'm gonna Google in Wisconsin to see if I can find anybody in Wisconsin, which is where I live, Wisconsin. And I found one surgeon, Dr. Catherine Gast. Katie, if you're watching, hi. And also Dr. Sid Gallagher out of Florida, I think now she is. Florida, Pennsylvania, somewhere on the East Coast. I had gotten her book called what is it called? Affirmed. Yeah, Affirmed. And I was like, heck yeah. It's a great Bible reference for anybody, whether they be friend, foe, family member, patient, doctor, therapist, etc. Whoever you are, whatever life that you're leading, whatever road you're walking, whatever metaphor you could possibly think of, it's there for you. I bought it. It's like $30 on Amazon. It's well worth it. There's pictures, there's text, There's graphic material in there that you need to know about from the head to the toes on anybody. Done. So yeah. So whoever needs it, you should get it on Amazon. At the end of this, I will link it in my description too. I didn't think about doing that until just now, but I will do that for sure. The one thing though I will mention to you is that this is not a very easy road for anybody to take. If it was, more people would be doing it if they felt that inside themselves. Okay. Um, so yeah, the surgery, I did that in February. I mean, I took steps on finding that in February. I Googled the surgeon in February. And from that point on, from February, March, April, I made strides on getting in contact with not one surgeon, not one surgeon, but not one therapist, but two therapists. One was out of Indianapolis, Indiana, that had a license in Wisconsin to practice in both states, for instance. And number two was where the therapy originally started at, which was Pathways Counseling Center in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And her name is Lynn. What's her last name? I want to say Dunaway, but oh gosh. If you ever want to private message me or something like that and ask me these questions, I'll be more than happy to answer them. I'll just say Lynn to begin with, and the other person was Carl. So anyone that's in Wisconsin that wants to know more about the steps that I went through to get affirmed, ask me. I have no problem discussing my information with you. Not a problem at all. Or I'll put on in the description what my email is as well. You can easily do that, or message me on in the live chat, or even at the end of the live chat is done. The live video is done. Message me down there then too, and ask me, whatever that you need to ask me or whatever you would like to know. And then I'm also going to give my email for that too. My email right now is Kellie, which is spelled Kellie, reviews, like my channel name, Kellie Reviews, at yahoo.com. That is my email that that it's a live email. Whatever whatever you want to send to me by all means. But it's a live email for you guys to remember if you want to send me anything or learn more about something or whatever. But point being is that I would be more than happy to address it either on the phone or through email or whatever you prefer, whatever you're comfortable with. Okay. I'm an advocate for myself. I would be an advocate for you and whoever else that you love or whatever you need. I'm a wealth of information. Not to sound that I'm all that, because I know I'm not. Anyway, I'm just telling you, there's strength in numbers. But with the surgery itself involved, yeah. So you have to be on hormone therapy for at least a year. Well, I had 19 years. Yeah, I had 19 years of hormone therapy. We have something in Ohio called telehealth over the internet. Oh, we have the same thing. It's amazing what the internet does nowadays. We have telehealth as well. I don't like it as much because it's sometimes it's crap. It really is. It just depends on the bandwidth or the Wi-Fi signal that you have in your house. It all depends. There's a lot of variances. But the surgery itself, yeah, I had to be under certain BMI or body mass index. It's the height by something else, but by what it is that you weigh. I think it's by the height and weight that you are, and it's given a certain number. I don't remember the actual metrics involved, but I had to be at least 202. So I busted my ass for because I was floating between 206, 207. And it's like, they're not going to take me at this. So I was busting my ass for a week. And then I had my final supper on Saturday night. And I gained 5 pounds back. I was so distraught. And so Sunday, all I had was a 20-ounce cup of coffee from Quick Trip down the street. That's what they have. They're convenience stores in Wisconsin, if you didn't know. And on our way down to Madison, spent one night in the in the hospital room, taking Miralax, taking poly something, whatever it is. It's a stool softener. Plus, if you drink a lot of it or take a lot of it, you're not going to have any worries about anything in your rectum anytime soon. So they had to clean me out. It had to clean you out. So all you saw was the bile that was coming out of you. And then they weighed me in at exactly 200 pounds. Exactly 200 pounds. I still couldn't believe at this time this was going to happen. I had no idea. No idea at all. I'm like, this is a dream, This isn't real. And then my doctor, my surgeon came in, and says, okay, we're just gonna have you sign on the dot. She said, fold up. I'm like, yep. And I still didn't believe it. And then prior to her coming in, they were trying to find a port for an IV. And when you're dehydrated, granted, I was dehydrated because I hadn't been able to drink anything except that junk that had me go down my throat, so that I had no bowel movements and nothing like that of the sort. I was cleaned out. And then after everything was done, on my way, right before we went out the doors, they're like, well, we're going to put this on you. Like, okay, sure. So what they ended up doing was giving me a nerve block, a non-opioid nerve block. It's kind of like what they would give you for an epidural. Kind of like an epidural, But it was a nerve block that they gave me through my IV that, they told me, well, something, if we ask you a question, you won't care what we do. I'm like, sure, whatever makes it easier, then let's do it, right? So maybe, what was it? Going down one hallway, going down another hallway, and then maybe 30 seconds in a dream, 2 dreams possibly, and I came to. because before that I saw the anesthesiologist. He was talking to me while she was trying to put an IV in my arm, and I mean in my on my wrist. And I came to in the same observatory room, it seemed like. And I'm like, I had my glasses off yet, and they put my glasses back on. And is it done? Did you do anything? Oh, yes, they did. Oh, yes, they did. I mean, I have pictures of that up until I think it was what um the 6th or 7th week of recovery. I have pictures of all that stuff yet. And I'm still working through all that stuff. Not only that, but my week in the hospital. I have video of that as well. If you've seen my videos, my last video, going down to Madison, that will be a lot there too. But my point being is, yes, it's not for everybody. It's for the very few, some that that know who you are inside and are not afraid or believe that it is your current time to do what you need to do. And my last one is life and living full time. So life in general, I'll leave this as a caveat then. Life and living full time. So I'll back it up. Living full time was not as difficult as you would think it might be difficult. You know, people are not going to give a damn what you're doing. They only care about themselves. They only care about what they're doing. So, you know, I mean, something that's not normal for you or not something that you usually do, and you're starting it right now, and you're like, for instance, yeah, I'm going to dress the way I feel, right? And then you walk out and you think everyone's eyes are on you. No, no, they're not. It's only your, what's the word? Your not your subconscious, but your oh God, what is that? People that have their eyes on you. Your you're only conscious of that because you're afraid of of being out of the norm, number one. Um, but honestly, the worst thing that has literally ever happened to me, thank God. Oh, two things. Yeah, two things that really ever happened to me that was bad. Um, Number one, one night at the convenience store, some guy got really mad, and he started calling me names, and he threw a big boulder of ice up against the window. Thank God it didn't crack. The second one was being called a chick with a dick, a she-male. Yeah, those are the worst two things was said to me. Um, yeah, ego is right. Um, but ultimately, I'm happy, because I was telling a friend of mine that today I said, you know what? When I had a penis, that sounds so odd to say. When I had a penis, showing it to medical professionals was very difficult to me. It really was. because I knew it did not belong on my body. I knew it wasn't a part of me. And now, because what was it? The Friday before last, I went to I went to the urologist, and it's like, oh, you want me to get on the, you want me to take off my clothes now, the bottom half, whatever. Oh no, hold on. My point being is that I have more confidence in myself showing the bottom half of me now, that it's what it's supposed to look like versus what it was when I had a penis. If that makes any sense. So my point being is that my confidence soared big time because of the lack of anatomy I have now. But, I thank God because of the fact that without him, none of this would have been possible. And people would say, well, you know what? You're made in God's image, including my own sister. It's like, you know what? You dye your hair, don't you? You paint your fingernails. You do your nails. God only knows what you do to your body. The God only knows what other people do to their bodies. It's that in God's image? No. But you know what? Makes you feel better, doesn't it? That's right. That's all that matters. If it's not hurting anybody else, why should they care? That's it. That's all I have for you. People are going to be rude no matter what. You got to remember that. People don't care about you. They care about themselves. That's the whole point of that. It's like you just got to let them be them. It's like, turn the other cheek. What you were taught. What I was taught was, kill them with kindness, turn the other cheek, watch your back. But, this, all of this right here, these are all my notes of what I wanted to cover. There's a whole thing that's tying them together. You know what that is? It's a small word. It's called time. That's it. Time. Well, money too, but time. Time and money. That's it. But I will say this though. If you've seen anything on my TikTok channel, and I go by the name of Cass Knows Best or at Kellie Reviews. Some of the videos are on there are from when I was in the hospital. And if you want, side chat me or chat with me, asking me, in fact, I'll even put where I am on TikTok after this as well. But I couldn't be, honestly, I couldn't be happier. I feel different, better in my jeans now than I did before. Granted, I didn't tuck back when. It took me a little while, and I stopped tucking, and I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I'm not going to tuck. Forget it. But ultimately, I'm as happy as I can ever be now. I'm in a good place. After my mother passed, and I did that year of grieving, and then I took the next steps to start to transition, and I gave myself 2 years to transition, and yeah, believe it or not, because I think it was February of 24. I wanted to transit by February of 24. So by the time I turned 45 years old, I'd want to already have my surgery. And believe it or not, 8 months prior to that, I had my surgery because my special day is coming up in 2 months. Believe that or not. But anyway, any questions from the gala before I disconnect? Oh, thanks for giving me the thumbs up. That you liked my channel today. If you didn't subscribe, subscribe already. That's my channel. I think this is better than the first time I went at it. I deleted the other one. That was just garbage. Thanks. 1997. 1979. Thank you. Well, I'm going to bid you adieu. Farewell. Um, uh, um, sayonara. Demain. No, that's tomorrow. Demain would be in French. I forget what the French word is that for I'll see you later. I forget what that one word is for French later. I should know that. I'm studying French. See you later. Or see you later. Demain is see you tomorrow. Anyhow, French. I'll see you later. Have a good one. Bye.